Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So we will start with session 3, but before we get into session 3, we're just going to talk about session 1 and 2. So it's a good way to recap. We have 3 people in the back who have been in the first 2 sessions. So basically, in the first session, we talked about how to get in business, what kind of licensing we need, what are the requirements. Basically, there's 2 big types of licenses we use in the dealership industry. What are the 2 kinds? Retail and wholesale. And what's the difference between retail and wholesale?
Retail you can sell to the consumers, and wholesale you can only sell to the dealers.
Yes. So those are the 2 big differences. Then second session, we talked more about the buying. Buying is like you go to the auction, you buy vehicles. This is a very important part of the business. In buying, we talked about many different things, which was one of the, few things was like announcements, what announcements means, right?
That there are some watch outs on the car. So
And what are the examples of announcements?
like mileage, frame, structural, those kind of things.
And what will be the term used for mileage mostly?
Mileage and known, so TMU.
TMU, yes.
Yeah.
They will announce TMU, mileage known, AutoCheck dispensary. What is AutoCheck? AutoCheck is same as Carfax. It's a history report.
Oil check?
AutoCheck, A-U-T-O, AutoCheck. So AutoCheck is mostly used in the auctions, and dealers are using it other than Carfax. Carfax is a little expensive, but all the auctions they use AutoCheck. We talked about announcement. It was one of the announcements. What does title absent means?
So lead, you meant to say
Sorry?
Sellers?
No, title absent.
Yeah, that's all right.
Huh? Yeah, title is not there right now. Title is not at the auction right now, but it does not really concerning to us. It's nothing concerning to us. Like it does not really. 95% of the cars sold at auction with title absent, but that does not concern us all. If they announce TA 4 to 6 weeks, then that means the title will be delayed. Maybe they have applied for a title, so that's why they announce a TA 4 to 6 weeks. So that's something concerning if I am a guy, who would like to flip cars really quick and I don't want to be my money tied up, so I will not buy a TA 4 to 6 weeks. Is a condition report a guarantee?
What was the question?
Is a condition report a guarantee?
No, it's not.
Okay, what is condition report?
It's just the physical condition of the car.
Yes,
How does it
yeah, it's just gonna tell you about cosmetics. So whenever you go buy a car or you're buying online, many times mostly when you're buying online, they provide you something called condition report. They will have like a number which starts from 1 to 5. So 5 is excellent, and 1 is like really bad. Like they don't have anything with 1. Normally it's 1.5 or 2. But if it's 4.5, does not mean the vehicle runs good. It's just how it looks. They're only rating it how it looks. They're not rating it how it drives mechanically. So mechanical has nothing to do with the CR. Just to make it clear, that's some mistake everyone do. When you first start the business, you look at the condition report at 4 or 4.5, and we end up doing a mistake. What are the 3 things you want to check on a condition report? You remember, Rahil? Yes. When you look in the condition report of a vehicle on Manheim website or any website, what you're going to look at? What's the most important thing you're going to start with? If there's any announcements. Like they will start with announcement if there's an announcement.
So like the VIN.
No, after the VIN, there will be announcement on a condition report. Announcement will be, it can be anything. Like, it can be frame damage, structural damage. It can be, sometimes they put new car trading or, something like that. Small auctions will advertise as announcement new car trade. New car trade is something, we like to buy because new car trade has less chances of being broken or being bad. Because when you buy,
People trade it.
Yes, yes. We call it a new car trade. But the seller will be a new car store, which we can call in our normal terms, people call it a franchise store, a Chevy store, a Honda store. It's a franchise store. But in our normal auction language, we call it a new car store because they're selling new cars.
New car store.
New car trade. You know, there will be announcement, new car trade. Anyone know about floor plan? Okay.
It's a credit line that you're given, like 30 days, 60 days. It's a term that's given to you, money. that they give you.
From banks, it's called floor plan. So if you don't have your own money to get into this business, floor plan will be a little risky in a way because you're using someone else's money. But there's banks who give you money depending on your credit. If you have a paid off house, you have a decent credit, you can just get money from the bank to buy cars. They give you floor plan only for buying cars, not for setting up office or anything else. But you
The
can.
auction gives you.
No, there's banks. There's companies just doing that. They specialize in that. That's all they do. And they give you term like a time. They will give you like 90 days. That's a term, and they will charge you either a fixed rate, or they will charge you interest or something like that. But most of our people, our people means that we don't want to deal with interest, so we get a fixed rate from them. They will charge us a fixed rate, and they have that option.
Fixed rate fee basically.
Yeah, we can for 90 days. Let's say you bought a car at the auction, you have a floor plan. You could floor with the floor plan, and you will get 90 days to sell the car, and they'll charge you a certain fees on top of what you paid at the auction.
But that's later, right? Not at that time.
Not at that time. When you sell the car, they will want their money. As soon as you sell the car, you got to pay them to get your title, because they hold the title. The auction will send them a title. You will never get a title until you pay for the thing. Why a floor plan can be dangerous? Why else?
Extra expense, and you have a time ticking, you have to sell it within a certain time, and if you don't, then you get more.
Yes. Why is paperwork most important in used car business? Like in any business, but paperwork is the most important thing. Why is that? It's because it protects you from everything, like customer issues and any legal issues, anything. Like the first thing you do if you have a customer issue when you get into business, you always want to check your paperwork. So your paperwork has to be strong. That you got all the disclosures signed, you got all the paperwork signed. That's protecting you, because you could say anything from your mouth, but it has to be documented. You have all your disclosures, all the paperwork we need by state law, or FTC, which is Federal Trade Commission, or federal law, just to make sure that we are following everything we can. When did the profit start in this business?
When you buy the car.
When you buy the car. If you buy the car right, you already made some money. You already made the money. So it really starts with buying. So if you bought a good car at a good price, then you know there's leverage in selling the car, then you already know you have some asset which has a value. Like how we feel about our houses now, that we bought them for $400 or $500, now there was $700 or $800, so we feel like we made money. That's the same thing with the cars. If you bought at the right price or a good deal, let's say if you bought something which is worth retail 15, but you end up buying it for 10, that's not a bad deal, because you have a big leverage now. Normally in used car industry, people tend to get a leverage of $3,000. So what you buy at the auction and what it retails for, $3,000 is minimum you need. If you don't have $3,000, it's not worth it, because you're still going to have a lot of cost after what you paid at the auction. What are the two things? What are the fees structure at the auction? What you pay at the auction? Auction fees. So after the bid amount, auction fees. These are two amounts: bid amount, auction fees. So when you're at the auction, you bid $10,000. Does not mean it's going to cost you $10,000 at the auction. It's going to have auction fees for $400 or $500. It'll be $10,500. Then that's what you pay at the auction. Then you have to pay for transportation. And if you have a floor plan, it'll be more fees, $300 or $400 for the floor plan. You don't pay upfront, but you have to. When you sell the car, you got to pay everything then.
So this 3,000 margin is on a 5,000 car or 10,000
Like normally $10,000 car, $8 to $10,000 car. Like if you have a $5,000 car, then because used car industry have changed a lot from COVID time. Normally people will even go close to 2,000 retail price. Like the retail price is 7,000, which we know we can sell. They end up paying with auction fees at the auction for 5,000. So there's only $2,000 room in the middle. Why is cheap not always a good deal? Why is cheap not always a good deal? So you bought a cheap car. Why is not a good deal? We talked about that last time.
Like too good to be true, right?
Yeah.
So you can make a loss by you see something cheaper, but you pay it like and we end up making maintenance and everything.
Because someone owned that asset. You have to remember, someone owned that asset. If they are giving it away, there has to be something fishy. So if we buy a car with a big margin, the first thing is we go check the car really good, or we know there's something wrong. And that happens all the time. Like if I gave you guys an example in the first session that I ended up buying a Toyota Tacoma, which was $27,000 at retail, but I bought it for $18,000. So when I was bidding on it, it was a new car store, but I knew there has to be something wrong. And then the engine, and it needed engine, but the engine was like 4,000. But we still made money, but we know that it's going to have that problem. Like there has to be something wrong.
You still bought it?
Yeah, like because we buy so many. So we, because we buy so many, so we know that some will be bad. Let's say if we were buying 10 in one day, we know 1 or 2 will be bad. We could play that risk. But if we are buying at the live auction, we check the cars. We try to make a good decision, but this was an online action I was bidding on. It was an online live auction. We call in our language similar cost. Where we're bidding online, but there's a live auction happening somewhere.
For the same auction?
Well, there's an auction somewhere, which I am not there physically.
Okay.
I'm bidding online.
Online, okay.
But there's a live auction happening. It's not an online auction, it's a live auction happening, but I'm bidding online. And I didn't see the car, I'm just looking at the announcement, looking at the car effects and making my decision. But, like the company I work for, the company I have, we have to, we have a good volume, so we have to buy so many and then, keep the rotation going. What is one big risk with online auctions? That brings me to this question. One big risk with the online auction.
Not seeing the car physically?
Very good. You got it right the first time. You physically did not see the car, so that's the biggest risk you have. Like what I did, when I was buying the Tacoma, I didn't, maybe it was when it was running through the lane, maybe it was making a little noise, but I was bidding online, and you could hear nothing online. You can only hear the auctioneer because there's so much sound. What does as is means at auction?
Same thing.
You buy it as in no guarantees.
Yes, as is means as is. So in a dealer auction, mostly everything is as is. If you're buying from easy lanes are new car store lanes, which, if you're planning to start a business and just buy vehicles under 10,000, you're going to be mostly buying as is. There will be no auction guarantee. The second big term is auction guarantee. What is auction guarantee, right?
They guarantee for the frame.
They guarantee for frame always, so that's not.
They stand behind the car and they're saying that the engine and transmission are good.
Yeah. So auction guarantee is basically every auction has a dollar amount, but mostly it's over $800 worth of work. So if it's engine, trans, timing chain, major issue, and then you bought it auction guarantee, then you can arbitrate it. Either you can do a PSI or arbitrate it. So there's arbitration office in every auction. You can go tell them that this car I just bought is auction guarantee and it has an issue. One thing you cannot do is you cannot pull it out and go back. You have to do the same day and you cannot pull the vehicle out. So let's say I did this mistakes in the start when, I bought a car auction guarantee, I felt it was good, I took it out and the damn car was bad. I'm gonna bring it in, no, it's not covered anymore. As soon as you pull it out, you're done. And it's only valid for that day, the auction guarantee, unless you do a PSI. What is PSI?
Post-sale inspection, so you get, I think 7, sometimes 14 days, depending on the auction itself and their terms, and you can bring the car back in that case if there's.
So in PSI, you have to pay for it. 7 days is so much, 14 days is. Some auctions do not offer 14 days, but some auctions do. And 7 day will be a little less, 14 days will be a little more, but you get something called PSI is post inspection, so you get a guarantee after you pay a little fees for 7 days. Then you can mentally, comfortably take the car out, and then if you feel like there's something wrong, you can get it checked by either a franchise store. Even new car store, we call it a franchise store. So you can get it checked by franchise store. Your mechanic have and they say no, it's bad, then you can take it back and fight with them. Fight means you got to tell the arbitration office, here's a receipt. They checked it. It needs a lot of work, and it's major work. They would not cover brakes. They would not cover suspension. So if it brakes, suspension, that's not even something to talk about, because you're not dealing with, it's not a consumer. These are dealers. We are trained. They expect us to know that this is not covered. None of that stuff is covered.
Engine light on?
Engine light, if it's auto sensor, it's not covered. It's a EVAP, it's code, it's not covered, even in an AG. But if it's if the catalytic converter is going to cost over $1,500, then they will cover it. So it's the dollar amount they normally cap is at $800.
So you have to check it out. What code is it, and then you can.
Yeah, you at Manheim they have something called where they are putting a reader on every car, so you can look up online. You can look at on the website. What's the website?
Manheim?
Yeah, Manheim link to look at the car codes.
So Simul?
No, it's called Lot Vision. Lot Vision. It's part of Manheim. It's called Lot Vision. So any car sitting in Manheim, when you are on Manheim website, there's a link for Lot Vision, and then you can physically look at every car, like sitting at your home, where that car is at Manheim and what kind of codes it has. It's called Lot Vision.
How do you say?
Lot Vision, L-O-T, Lot Vision.
So is this PSI worth it?
It's worth it for nicer cars.
Or?
For nicer cars. For cheap cars, you can check them just right there.
Drive nicer.
Like anything over 10,000.
Oh. And the other guarantee thing, the engine and transmission guarantee that you said, what's the 800 thing in that?
Okay, 800, if let's say if it's a radio and it's going to cost $500, they will not cover it. It has to be it has to be something which will cost over $800 for AG to really be effective. That's why I told you guys, small things will not, they will laugh at you if you go and you tell them, oh, this car has
That's when
suspension.
they tell you this is a guaranteed car.
Yeah, they will announce. So the auction, if I'm auctioneer, there will be lights, now there's screens like this, and there will be a light on the screen. There's normally 4 lights. Okay, what did red light means?
As is
Okay, very good. What did green light means?
auction.
No, auction guarantee. What did yellow light means? Caution. What did blue light means?
Lean.
No. This is never gonna be.
Title lean.
No, there's no lien. It's just blue light means no title. Mostly blue light is on, or blue light is not on, but there's no title at this point. So that's not really something we worry about. We worry about 3 lights. One is red light. Most of the cheap cars, we call it cheap cars, and anything you're buying under 10,000, we consider as a cheap. Cheap means that they are a risky business. But you tend to make more money because you could invest the same money, and you could buy a $15,000 car and make $3,000. You could buy a $10,000 car and make $3,000. So it's more risky. We're gonna let them come in.
Sorry for being late.
We have you have them over there.
Do you take the PSI yourself?
Yes, we do. We have our own auto PSI.
You do?
We are on auto PSI. Auto PSI is we made deals with the auctions, and we told them, listen, every car we're gonna buy, if it's green light, if it's auction guarantee, we want PSI. So they gave us a special fees. Every car we buy had PSI is automatic. Even though we check it, we still want the PSI. Every week when I come here and I do this class, I give them an example. So yesterday, we bought a Chevy Silverado with only 50,000 miles, really nice. Retail was $27,000. At the auction, I got it for $18,000, but they wanted it was on IF, so we're gonna discuss about IF again. Do you know what if is?
If it's like a, it's like a, you purchase the car, but it's on the seller if you want to sell or not.
Yeah, it's not a final sale then yet. It's just on condition, like if the seller wants to sell it. It's called if. It's not sold to you yet. So a lot of cars, when we buy at the auction, they're going to sell with the if. So that means the seller still have to decide if he wants to accept the offer or no. So seller wanted like 19. I made the deal for 18.5 from 17, and then later on, the auction arbitration department called me and they told me that, because I'm out of frame also. I bought it as is, just to let you guys know, because my guy checked it. He said motor transfer is good, but he missed something in the frame. There was a hole in the frame which he missed, and then they told me, what you want to do? You want an adjustment? Sometimes they will offer adjustment. Like they will say, okay, you want an adjustment? We can call the seller if you want 2,000, 3,000 off, because it's a frame. It can be a major issue. And I told him, no, I don't want it, because the only reason I was buying was because. But we're gonna see next week, and then my guy will see how much it will cost. Sometimes there's some frames which frame has parts, so you replace one part and then you're good. Like it's section, the frame is in section, but sometimes it's not. So if it's not in section, then we try not to just play with it. It's not worth it for us. So this is example from yesterday. So this vehicle they sent me, and this, like you see a big hole. So there'll be holes on the frame like that.
Can't see it.
Oh, wish I could just. So there'll be holes on the frame, and you could see YouTube videos, you could see other videos online to know more, but, simple example is something like a frame.
So how much is this PSI cost?
Like anywhere from 150 to 215, 220, different auctions charge different amount.
Right?
Yeah, but because we buy so many, so we have our own flatbed, but normal auction will charge you 155, 150 for 7 days.
7 days.
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
drive around if something's not right.
But there's a limit to it. You cannot drive so many miles. They would not allow you to just keep driving it. There's a limit. Normally, they allow up to 200 and something miles, like 200. Which every auction you should know that. But when we buy our car with the PSI, it normally gets just towed to our dealership, or it's get driven to it. Normally we don't drive them. We just get them towed. So because we buy so many, we just can't drive them out. But if you only bought one car and you want to drive it out, you can drive it out. And you drive home by 70 miles, and then you want to be sure that, what's the limit? Some auction might have only limit for 125 miles. So if you go above 125 miles, then there's a problem. So sometimes it happened to us that if we know that if we drive it back to the auction, it's gonna be over the limit, so we tow it back.
And in green, you check it the same day, same time, don't take it up.
Yeah, if that's the best way. You don't pull it out, you just check it. If you see there's a problem, arbitrate it right away. You go to the arbitration office. Every auction has an arbitration office. Tell them there's a transmission flipping, there's there's an engine noise, or if you want to feel comfortable and the vehicle was auction guarantee, you just want to do a PSI and stay safe.
When do you have to indicate the PSI? So is it at the auction or later that day could you say, hey, I want a PSI on this?
Like I told you, you cannot pull the car,
Sure.
and it has to be the same day before the auction closes.
Okay.
So if the auction closes at 5 o'clock, you have to engage the PSI before 5 o'clock. If you call them at 5:01, they probably close. But if you know someone there and you call them and say, hey, if it's 5:30, but I forgot to tell you about PSI, no, there's nothing they're not gonna do. And then the PSI gives you seven days. Remember I told you guys that, and how the 7 days work. How the 7 day works.
5 p.m. Cutoff.
A day before.
Yeah.
So this is one of the rookie mistake, or one of the mistakes I done in the start. I bought a car on Wednesday, and I wanted to bring it back, to the auction because there was an issue, and it was auction guarantee, and I did the PSI. But I bought it back on Wednesday, and they said, no, you cannot do that. It has to be on Tuesday before 5 o'clock, before the auction's closed. So 7 day ends one day before. My mental brain thought that, 7 days is the day I bought it, so I'm gonna go back same day and try to fight with them. No, it's not gonna work. So there was, like I said, in business, we've been in business for 20 years and we still do mistakes. You always learn, you're always gonna get into new problems. And that's where you're gonna end up spending money on legal fees. Because you,
Do you mind me asking how many cars do you buy, like you guys in general?
so we have 3 different businesses. We have an auction house, it's a public auction in Waukegan. Then we have a retail company, which is Your Choice. And then we have a wholesale cash and carry model in Indiana. We only do cash and carry that. So between the 3 different entities, we're averaging about 80 to 100 a week buying.
What is cash and carry?
It's just cash and carry. We don't do financing. We don't, for the customers, we don't do financing. It's just wholesale, like not really wholesale. We call it wholesale to public, but it's cash and carry.
Cheaper
Like,
cars?
cheaper cars. Everything is under 6,000, mostly.
What's your business model? What type of cars do you buy? All the time?
All type. That's why we told you we have 3 different models. We have one which is cash and carry, which is like if we have 200 cars, like over 100, 120 are under 6,000 retail price. Customer can buy it at our lot for under $6,000. And then the next model is public auction. We have a public auction. We even sell cars at our auction for $1,000.
For $1,000?
Yeah, but sometimes we get a charity or sometimes we get a trade-in in our own dealership, and we just, if we get a trade-in for $500-600, we sell it at our auction for $1,000.
Those are as is problems.
Yeah, they're all as is. There's no guarantee. Sometimes in our public auction we announce something called seller guarantee to help the public, but we try to keep as much straight business. But these are cheap cars. They're gonna have rust. They're gonna have some issues. They're gonna have cosmetic. They're gonna have dent damages. All this, but it's just
So dealers come or public come?
we have both. We have a very little dealer, but a lot of public. 90%.
What's the third one?
Your Choice, which is a major retail company. We have 4 locations. We keep over 1,000 cars.
No, you said that you have 3 business models. What's the third?
That's the third one. Your Choice. Normal retail business. We do financing. We keep vehicles up to $30,000.
Oh, nicer one.
Yeah. So we have vehicles. The lowest price for Your Choice will be $6,000-7,000 because that's where we started, and then we go up to like 35-40. We're hitting 35-40 now normally. Retail price, because that's the model we do financing. We do a lot more than just cash business. When you don't know a lot of things about the car, like too many things unknown, what's the best thing to do? If you see the price is very cheap, the auctioneer is saying this car worth, like I know I could sell it for 10,000, but the auctioneer said 5,000, give you 5,000, 5,000. I'm saying this, I'm auctioneer 5,000. Now what you'll do? You'll raise your hand right away, or what you'll do? Skip it, yeah. You don't wanna get into that drama because too many things are unknown. You
don't follow the crowd?
You don't want to follow the crowd. You're gonna get really. That's some. You're gonna get. That will be a big no-no to follow the crowd. When I first started, I always give example because I did not know nothing about the auction. I didn't know nothing about the rules, and I just almost like stand next to like auctioneers on the podium, and I'm standing very close to him, and I was just bidding, and I was looking at other people bidding, and I was bidding, and because it was the first few cars I bought was a Toyota Camry and Honda Accord or something. First 3 cars I always mention, which was a mistake because I ended up losing, almost all my money. I bought them for $6,000, but that's back in 2006. So, and I ended up getting, only $2,000 for them. So I lost, $4,000 in my first transition. But, I didn't know the auction rules. I know nothing. But the $4,000 loss mentally made a shock on me because I used to work in a gas station or manage gas stations for someone. That was a big shock for me. So I could not sleep. I could not, I wanted to go back to the auction and learn the business. So then I did not buy anything for a few weeks. And then I bought 1 car, and that's the car I made money. And the first car we made money was how much we made? $1,700 at that time. So at that time, $1,700 was a lot of money. But then that car, which I made money, that's the car I played for a long time, like 5-6 months. I didn't buy nothing else other than just that kind of car. That was a Cadillac DeVille. I would only buy a Cadillac DeVille.
Which one?
Cadillac DeVille. Because that's one car I got comfortable with. And then the good thing about that vehicle was there will be never a transmission bad. There will be always engine. And engine was North Star engine. So if it overheats, that means the whole engine is gone, and that's worth more than the car. So we just have to make sure the engine is good. I will go early, check all the Cadillacs at that auction, make my list, and then bid on them. And like a lot of people would not bid on them because they was risky cars. But I already checked them, and that's something I specialize in. So, if I had 10 cars on my lot, everything was Cadillac. But then I started to introduce myself into a newer car, like a Chevy Impala or something, one product at a time, and got comfortable with all make and models. But now we sell everything. We just sell everything. We don't have nothing like we don't sell. Only thing we don't like to sell is like in Ford, we don't sell Ford Escapes. We always have a transmission issue. We try to be careful with the Kia Hyundais on the older versions. There's some engines we like to stay away, like 2.0 EcoBoost, like for Lincoln and Lincoln and Ford 2.0. We don't buy them. So there's some vehicles which tend to have problems. So when we train our buyers who go to the auction and buy cars, we tell them, please stay away from these cars because they always tend to have problems. With us fixing them all the time or having customer issues. So why we're going to buy something which have a customer
Would
issue?
you recommend not buying the EcoBoost line?
No EcoBoost, no 2.0 Lincoln Ford. Okay, what's the high-risk vehicle for beginners? So we are talking about beginners. What's the high-risk vehicle? High-risk vehicle you don't want to get into. Kind of high-risk vehicles. I always said that.
German?
Yes, very good. Sure, very good. Smart. Yeah, so you don't want to play with German. High mile, German luxury, or all that, and don't want to play with salvage rebuild. So basically, if you are a rebuilder, if you have a rebuilder license from the state, then you can buy salvage and convert into rebuild. But you don't want to do that. You just don't want to get into that business. It's a different business. It can make money, but you got to have body shop, you got to have body experience, and then a beginner, I don't recommend them to just get into this kind of thing. Like just play simple. Simple is go to the auction, buy cash cars, like $5,000-$6,000 car, and try to make $1,500, $2,000, and try to start. At least you make something, you're a winner.
So what's high mileage for German cars that's not worth it?
Anything above 150 is we consider high miles. Okay, so what is state of Illinois employed warranty? Implied on us.
150, less than 150,000 miles, 15 days, 500 miles.
Yes. So there's something called employed warranty in state of Illinois.
What is it called?
Implied. It's implied on us. We are dealers, they implied on us. So implied, the way it works is we as dealers, when we're selling the vehicle, when we're selling it cash, finance, regardless of how we're selling, we're just selling the vehicle. If it has under 150,000 miles, then we have to give a customer 15 days, 500 miles employed warranty. We have to give them that. Basically, what employed warranty covers all the major components like motor, trans, timing chain, water pump, major things. So if you as a consumer go to a dealer and bought a car, and within 500 miles or within 15 days break down, you can go mess with the dealer. He has to fix it by law.
But if it's oxygen sensor, that's not
Like CAT code, catalytic converter, O2 sensors, stuff like it's not covered. Cosmetic, like radio not working is not covered. The suspension is not covered. The brakes are not covered. But major motor trans is covered. So the way it works is the dealer has two options, either to fix the car or take the car back. We as a dealer, if we feel it's going to cost too much to fix it, or the customer is just too much demanding, like they're telling us about employed warranty stuff, but they even want the car to be brand new, we just rather give them their money back and call it a day if that's the solution.
So if I buy a car and I sell it at home, am I still a dealer?
If it's a private, it's a private owner car, no. If it's your car, your title. But if it's titled in a dealership and you're selling from anywhere, you're a dealer. Like let's say you have your friend that has a wholesale license and you are trying to sell from your home, or do stuff like that. We're going to talk a little bit more to cover that right now before we get into section 3. So we right now always talking in section 1 and 2. This is all we talked about before. But I'm just doing a recap because that's what we do. We do a recap and then we get into new stuff. So, you know, we did talk about wholesale and retail, but I'm just going to do a little recap. So state of, in a used car dealership license, there's 2 common licenses, which is one is retail, which retail means anyone who has a dealership, has a proper business, that considered as retail. Wholesale is where they tend to only buy it to go back to the auctions or sell to the dealers. Like wholesale to dealers. You cannot sell to public. That's the big law. And then what people have done before, they will get a wholesale license, sell to public to a currency exchange, which is not allowed, but people do that all the time. And the wholesale license, how you get them, there's not that many states who like them. Some states allow them, and then there's companies who will let you get a wholesale license. There's companies who, that's what they specialize. So basically you need an office space, showing the office space and meet the requirements, form entity, and you get a wholesale license.
You have to be big for that?
No, nothing. He had a whole license for a while. Okay, can you explain the wholesale license?
So wholesale, so WDL, one of the companies, actually, Majibhai in that group chat, he sent out a link. So what you do is you contact them. So it's about $3,000 via pay them. So they register an entity, they do everything, and then you get the wholesale dealer license registered. Then you can register with auction access and everything. Then you can go to these places. Now wholesale, I cannot sell the car to you. I have to sell it. If I want to sell it to you, I have to take you to a dealer. So I'll take my car to a dealer. So let's say Majibhai, can you make this sale? So I am actually selling the car to him, and he's selling the car to you. So this process here, so there's a cost to him, and then it comes to you. That's how we do it.
Or at the auction.
Or I can sell that car that I bought, I can sell it back at the auction. So if I bought it for 5,000, if I put it in, and if I get 5,500, I just make 500. Minus auction fees, I may just make $300.
So it's B2B basically.
So business to business, yeah. So I started with wholesale, I learned everything wholesale, and that's how I did it.
Isn't that the difficult route?
A little. If you go to the dealer, then you can set up it's a 50-50 thing, right?
So what he's saying is there's another legal way to make money. If you have a wholesale license, you could consign cars to a retailer. It's called consignment. You could consign a car, do a little agreement where whatever's income is, it can be a 50-50 split, or there will be a fees. Some retailer will charge just a fixed fee. Some will say, okay, we'll share the profit. So you could just focus on buying and not do the selling part for first 6 months, so you have less headache.
Overhead cost.
And you don't have a headache, you have less headache. You just focus on the auction, go buy cars and leave at this dealership.
Think about it this way. You bought the car at the auction for 5,000. You brought it to the dealer. He sold it for 8,000. You get 1,500, he keeps 1,500.
It's your investment.
Exactly.
Do you need a lot for the wholesale license?
No.
No, you don't.
That's a good thing.
Okay.
You don't need anything. But I started wholesale with 1 or 2 cars. I would buy it, park it in my driveway.
Mhm.
But then after I repair it, then I would take it to the dealer
To the dealer.
and say, hey guys, can you sell it for me?
Either you split the profit or give a
Whatever the dealer.
Or you could just sell, like there's a lot of wholesalers, that's all they do is they buy cars and sell to dealers. So there's a lot of dealers who don't even buy. They don't like to buy to the auction. They don't want to go to the auction. They only buy from wholesalers.
Yeah.
They have a dealership, but they don't want to do the two-side. So basically there's 2 sides of business. One is buying, one is selling. And like I said, you make your money when you buy the car. Always said that. So if you buy the car right, you made the money. So let's say if I'm a wholesaler and I bought the car and, with a good MMR, good value. MMR is Manheim auction value, which is like a value at a dealer auction Manheim suggests us based on what got sold at Manheim. So it's a live data from Manheim, and then, you could see how much this car have sold at auction with that miles. Because miles is a big thing too, at Manheim.
And the safest thing to do if you're buying a car, you want to know how much MMR is your limit, or 200 or 300 above that. If you get it below MMR, that's the best thing. So that gives you, so you don't have to worry about, okay, what's my max? The other thing you look at is a retail value for the car, right? So if retail is 8,000, then you're like, okay, I want to keep my 3,000 profit, I'm not going to go above 5,000. So these are the things that he has taught us.
So are you gonna talk about this, or you've already talked about which car to buy, how much?
I can talk about it at the end. We're gonna jump. If anyone has any questions, now you're gonna save your questions. So if you have a specific questions, we're gonna have time for that.
Like how to,
Yes.
for a beginner, how to
Yes.
initiate it.
Yes, we'll talk about it. Any questions you have, any questions you have, I'll answer them. Or I can answer them later on. You can set up a time and, we can do like one-to-one, consult. I don't charge for it. I just do it when I'm free. So you just have to set up a time with me and I'll guide you as much I can. But right now we're gonna dive into session 3. So we're gonna take a break at 8:45. So right now we're gonna go, you have a PowerPoint here, you have I gave you guys a handbook for session 3. So
Anybody should I place the order for tea?
you can, yeah, sorry.
If someone
Anyone
wants,
wants sugar or no sugar?
Site per day.
One, to make it 2, because we have a small group, so 1 light sugar, or we can just do 1, because there's only few people do it. Not many.
so we have to order there, or
No, he can do it.
the coffee too, or whatever?
Yeah, he's just getting, you're talking cold coffee or?
Coffee.
No, he just wanted to get a chai, but I will do a break at 8:45, so I want to continue this. But he was here before, so, okay, session 3 is focused on what happens after you buy the car. So, we talked in the start, the session 1, we talked about, what kind of license to go with. You want to go with wholesale, you want to go retail, how to start it. We talked all about that. Then the session 2, we talked mostly about buying, and now we're in session 3, we're talking about, how to sell a car legally with proper documentation, with keeping yourself safe, protecting your business. So
I'm sorry to cut you off. So if I have a question regarding what you're saying right now, like what should I prefer, retail or wholesale? Should I hold that question and ask later?
yes, that will be better.
Okay.
And then, I'm open to all the questions, but right now I want to just discuss what the session is, and then we will, because we are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, only 7 people, so, it's going to be, we're going to have a lot of time for questions. The last 2 sessions we had a lot more people. We had about 10, 12 people, so people, when we got in conversations, it took longer. So today we will have time to address better. Okay, so session 1, I'm just going to repeat myself and cover as much, and then if you have any questions, just write them down. Session 1, we covered about license parts, retail vs wholesale, auctions, paperwork, floor plan, and getting started. So in session 1, we basically covered was retail is a proper dealership with address, with a license. The state will come approve you. There's a requirements. There's a requirement, even for wholesale, but retail, they make a little sticker requirement. The biggest thing in retail is they make you get zoning from the city. If the city allow it, it has to be zoned for retail, because wherever you are trying to open a business, it's a warehouse place, it's a small place, whatever. If the city will allow it, if they sign this a paper called zoning form, I showed it in the last few times. If that form gets signed from the city, then you're in good shape, because everything else you can do. Only the biggest problem is a zoning form from the state. It's a 1-page document. The city has to sign it. If they allow the used car business to be there, then the rest of stuff can be worked out. Sometime, if you go to a town or city, they will say, we want you to attend our planning commission meeting. So they have 2 meetings. One is planning commission, one is a city normal, like their city normal meeting, like where the mayor decides and they all vote. So they will decide, they will make you go in 2 phases, and then that's a process, but it's nothing bad with it. But you just have to make a deal with your landlord that, listen, it's going to take a few months. I have to go to these 2 meetings. I can't pay you rent or anything until I get approved by by planning and zoning and the city. And then wholesale, like he mentioned, and the biggest thing is about wholesale, you can only sell to dealers, you can sell back in the auction. There's companies who specialize in that. If you're planning to not open up a retail lot, like not deal with employees, not deal with, all the good and bad retail do. What's the biggest good and bad in retail? Like retail, you could make a lot more money. That's good. The bad is you have a lot of expenses. You have a lot of overhead. That's two big good and bad. Retail, you can make a lot more money, and bad is you're gonna have a lot of overhead. Wholesale, what's good? No expenses, no overhead. Bad is you make less money. So it's just the opposite, in my sense.
So what are the expenses in retail?
A lot of expenses. We're gonna go. I'm gonna answer that question. Just write it down. Any questions? Okay. And then we talked about the floor plan. Floor plan is just it's a bank which charge you certain fees. And if you don't have much money, but you have a house which has a good value, floor plan will give you money because they look at you as your personal wealth. And if you open up a new entity, even if you get a wholesale license, they still give you money. They'll give you a few $100,000 because they know that you have asset, like you're worth something. So they'll give you money, and then if you mess up, they're just gonna go take your house or put a lien in your house or put a lien on anything you have.
Stay away from floor plan.
Okay, focus on buying vehicles, right? Okay, so just buying is very, very important. Like when you go to the auctions, you gotta know the rules. You gotta listen to the auctioneer. So I always say that when you even, right now is the best time to, if you can go to a small public auction or any auction, just to hear the auctioneer, just to understand the atmosphere. It's like a show. The auction is basically a show. And their job is to get the most money for the seller. They're not working for us, they're working for seller. So their job is to get the most money for seller. So you want to know the environment, you want to understand it before you bid. If you want to go to live auctions. If you want to do online auctions are much more calmer. It's like I call it a game. It's like playing with the game. You have so much information and you're looking at it and buying it. Only bad thing about the online auctions buying is you could buy a car which, everything looks good, but it has issues because whoever inspected the car for that online auction didn't do a good job, and then you have to arbitrate it, and it's a headache. And then they won't take the car back. They'll just give you adjustment. If you go to a physical auction, they will take the car back. If you do arbitration, if there's an issue, they will take the damn car back. But online auctions like Open is another big online auction, which you just play on the app and buy the vehicle. Or ACV is another big online auction, which you just buy a car online and you play on the app. But those two auctions, they give you like a really hard time to take the car back. They don't take the car back. They just give you adjustment, like amount. Okay, if it's a trans, we'll give you $2,025. It might cost you $35, but they don't care.
So you don't have an option because you're not able to see the car the same day?
For online auction,
If you bid it online,
yes.
you can see it on the same day, right?
You saw the pictures,
Yeah.
but the car can be anywhere. It can be in
Right.
Texas, it can be anywhere.
That's why I lose out on that.
Yeah, when the car comes to you, you still have time to report it. They give you a time frame.
Okay, they ship it to you?
You can pay for the shipping to them, and they will ship it to you, and they will give you a certain time. Or you assume the liability of picking it up yourself, which I don't recommend. Whenever I play ACV or Open Lane, I want them to ship it to me. It's a little bit more, like $100 more than my own. We have our own dispatcher, so it costs more than my dispatcher, like my own dispatch. But I rather pay them $100 more because I want to have that. Maybe it takes 2 weeks to bring the car back here, and then I have the time frame because my time frame starts when they drop the car at my location. The clock ticks, the arbitration clocks, because they have different arbitration rules. Online and live auctions is two different games.
So don't go there online?
No, you can buy online. If you're a starter, online is recommended. I recommend online buying.
But then what about the arbitration?
You just use their shipping. When the car get dropped off at your lot or your place, check it good. If the vehicle has an issue, you have to arbitrate to them. On the app, there's an option to do arbitration. And then they will send someone to come check the car, or they will tell you to take it to a dealer, get inspected, and give us a report. And then they will give you so much money off.
So what if the engine's leaking from under or something?
Oil leaks will not be covered. Mostly they don't cover oil leaks. Oil leaks are not covered even in live auctions. They don't cover small leaks.
What's covered?
Like if it needs to be, the whole engine needs to be replaced. If the engine has bad compression, if the engine is tuck, it's making the noise. They won't cover the oil leaks. Okay, so we basically, the purpose of today was to cover the session 1 and 2 and talk about cash sales. We're not going to talk about financing. Financing, in our language, we call it F&I. F&I is basically finance and insurance. So when you're financing a vehicle, you're doing one part for the customer and yourself, but then you're selling them products. You're selling them a service contract. You're selling them a gap. You're selling them all those extra products which you can make money. So it's like selling them. Like if you're eating halim and these are spices on top of it. So you're selling them the spices. So, that's why when you're in retail, you could do that. You could sell other than a car. You could make money in items which are more than a car. You could not do that in wholesale. You can only do it in retail. So today, the next class, whenever we do the next class, we'll just talk about F&I mostly. And I will have someone who's expert in that field. I'm not an expert in that F&I field.
What's it? Is F&I?
Finance and insurance.
Finance.
And insurance stands for like all the products which insure the asset.
Like the gap insurance.
There's many products. Like one is service contract. Like service contract is like buying a warranty. Then the next one is gap. Then they can have a maintenance plan. They can have tire and wheel protection. They can have a lot of things, and those are all come in insuring your asset, like protecting your asset. So when you're selling a car, you're selling all those extra items. So he's doing a training in our company. So he's getting to know what I'm talking about. What I'm talking here, he's getting to know because they want to open up a dealership, inshallah, and that's his son. That's was his son. So in cash process, like bill of sale is very important. Your buyer's guide is important. As is means as is. Employed warranty means employed warranty. The goal is to not make you a legal expert. Goal is to just make sure that you keep your paperwork in line. I'm not a legal expert, so it's legal advice. We have to go to a lawyer, but we just want to make sure we're in compliance. Like we want to make sure our paperwork is done right. Anytime I get a complaint, the first thing I tell my employees is to please check the jacket. Jacket is where we keep all the paperwork. They signed. So anything they signed, it goes in a jacket. It could be just a yellow, like a jacket, and then all the documents we put in there, whatever they signed.
The bill of sale is just a paper, or it has to be stamped or something?
No, it does not have to be stamped. Just customer sign it, we sign it, it's a document. It's just a contract. That's out of all the documents, that's the most important contract. So you have bill of sale. You have buyer's guide. You could have the automotive, like a mileage disclosure. Those are like the key documents in a cash sale. So back in the days, when I first started, many years, like 3-4 years, I only did cash. I did only cash and carry. I wouldn't do financing because it was just extra work, and I didn't, I was not expert in that, and I only knew how to go buy cars and sell cars, and that's it. Like I don't want to deal with financing. It was extra work. I lose out on selling back end, but my cars were cheap. I would buy a car for $2,000, sell for $4,000. 100% profit, 80% profit. So that was the best thing to do at that time, but that's pre-COVID. COVID changed stuff. COVID made the used cars a lot more expensive. So initially, COVID, used car dealers made a lot of money, but now and with time, it got hard. So it's very hard to buy a car for $2,000. There's nothing out there, even a dealer auction for $2,000. So normally, if you want to buy something which is going to be having like at least where the customer is not going to go, like upset at you, and you want to retail it, we call it retail it. It's going to cost you more than $3,000 minimum, and that's going to be something with the high miles, not low miles, and something which you're going to have a little dings, cosmetic. But that's how the industry have moved. Back in the days, you could buy a car for $700 and sell for $1,500 and make 100% profit. But the times have changed. When anyone can say anything, the customer said, "Oh, this your salesman said this." All those things really ends what you have in writing. So basically, what's in writing is the most important thing. So if you said that the car is as is, but you didn't make them sign a buyer's guide, which is the as is and it's F, then you did a mistake. because they have to sign a buyer's guide if the car was as is, if over 150,000 miles. So if you're playing cheap cars, you know, then you're going to end up buying cars above 150,000 miles, and then everything will be as is. You don't have to, on your bill says employed warranty don't have to be mentioned. So when a customer come in, what we do, if you're a cash business, what we do, if a customer come in, we first thing is we greet them, we make them sit, talk, whatever, and then we want to take on test drive, we made a copy of the ID. And we make them sign the test drive agreement. It's just a one-page agreement, we make them sign a test drive agreement. So if they go hit someone, we are covered. It's just a small test drive agreement. You can make one from ChatGPT, you know, test drive agreement. Because we don't, if they go hit someone, we want them to be, you know, responsible, not us.
How will they cover it?
90% of people have their own insurance. If they don't, then it's going to be us. But at least we have something in writing. You know, at least we have a system in
What is
place.
that called again? Where you take the driver's license for test drives?
Test drive agreement, test drive. Yeah. And you know, you take their phone number, you want their phone number, you want to go with them. You know, sometimes when we are very busy, sometimes the customer will end up going, or they have a family, we send them alone, but that's not a good thing to do. You always want to send someone with them or go with them. And then make sure it's not a fake ID. Make sure we have incidents where people gave us a fake ID. And my guys gave them the car and the car never came back. It happened to us. Never came back. It happens to us multiple times. The fake ID thing, even the ID looked good. We had all kinds of stories. So in business for so many years, we did many mistakes. And one was like, we make sure that if they come in, how they come in. If they came to buy a car, we want to know how they come in.
Yeah, on Wednesday, somebody came in, he was trying to buy a car, and he didn't have his license with him. So he attempted to give his state ID and said, oh no, he was an unlicensed driver, came to the dealership with driving without a license. I think he wanted to steal the car, and we ended up just sending it home.
Yeah. So if I have a customer who don't have a driving license, they can still buy a car legally, because you don't need a license to buy a car legally by law. You could own so many cars and you can have someone else drive for you, but they cannot drive the car on test drive. We have to drive for them. That's something we offer to those kind of people. But I'm concerned at how they came to my property. I train my people. Yeah. If they have their own car sitting on my property, if they took a Uber, that's a small red flag. Then you know what they do. Just all those things mentally, you have to keep your senses on. You're running a business. You're gonna give someone an item which costs $5,000, $6,000, $10,000. So you wanna have your senses on. Like we had so many fraud, like so many. Like there was just gonna recap all the fast ones in the cash. We're only gonna talk about cash sales. So in cash sales, we had we had people who dress up like, you know, they had wigs and stuff. They changed themselves and they had ID, and then they went on a test drive. And they went to a gas station. They told my guy that, oh, we're gonna stop at the gas station. Just, if you don't mind, can we just? And then when they got out of the gas station, somehow my guy got out and they took the car. They did to us that one time, and then you know, there was a time when I only have 1 or 2 people working in the office, and this lady, she came to look at the records, and then she saw that my guy got busy. She saw the key. She just took the key and ran away with the car. So you cannot leave them unattended. You know, you have to make sure your senses are on. Those are very important things.
What do they do with a stolen car?
You know, sometimes they will take you to a chop shop place, or Wisconsin they allow giving them plates without a plate, without a title. So a lot of people, they take it to Wisconsin, make a fake bill of sale, and then get a plate there. Sometimes DMV will catch it, or most of the cars end up finding it in Wisconsin. Like most of when they find those cars, the ones we have, they find them in Wisconsin.
They keep on driving them.
Yeah, they keep on driving them for long.
But you do file a police report.
Yeah, we do that right away.
Right, so when you do that, the VIN number is already in the system, so when they try to get the plate, it doesn't
But-
get flagged?
Yeah, like I said, the system is getting better, you know, now, but back in the days, they would not catch it. And that happened a lot. But then after 1 year, we'll keep getting a call from police department. Hey, we found your car. It's in Wisconsin at this place. Come pick it up. $700. You have to pay, to get it out or whatever. And then we always ask them, what's the mileage? How's the condition? Is that worth it for us to go there? Like, we don't want to. And we end up getting cars where we send a tow truck and find out the car was garbage. Like, waste of money, waste of time. So,
And they sell parts too?
who?
The car parts?
If they want to do chop shop, then you would not find a car. Never will find a car because they will just dismantle it right away.
That's a chop shop?
Yeah. So signatures are important, So customer, we make sure that we check their ID. We let them go on a test drive. We went with them because we want to go with them to make them understand how they feel about the car, if they like the car. Now they came back. We already know their concern. If we went with them, if we did not went with them, then we ask them how was the drive, this and that, and try to make a deal. Because cash business is easy. You don't have to send their credit app. You don't have to deal with the banks. You don't have to deal all that. All you have to do is just make a deal. You are the bank, and they are the customer. So just two people deal. It's very easy in that sense. Because when you go in F&I, there's a lot more happening. Like you have 3-4 banks who are giving you different calls. Like they're offering you different money on that customer because it affects the car, it affects the credit. Because bank is also buying that product now. So in cash, you are just making a deal. Like depending on how much you got into the car, customer is offering you so much, and you just make a deal. Like depending on your sales skills, you just gotta tell them what's good with the car. If you have a Carfax, you tell them what's good in the Carfax. You just mention what's good. So now you as a customer came in, you test drive the car, you end up liking it. Now you want to buy it. So I want to know how you're gonna pay, like cash or credit card.
Is there a thing as fake bills too?
What?
Fake bills?
Yes, a lot. We're gonna talk about that. So you could have a machine, or you could have a pen, which will turn the bill into like really black. If it's like orange, that means it's good. It's not that bad. But if it's become anything dark, if you have a pen, like they have a special pens for us, like you could buy them from Amazon, and it will make it more darker, like a black or color. So that means a fake bill.
Put it on every bill?
Yeah, we just do a little line, like put all the bills line.
You do it?
Yeah, we do that. Yeah, or we have a machine at the auction house. We have a machine which we just take 3,000, put in the machine. It tells us if there's even one fake bill.
Because that's very risky, the money thing, right?
Yeah, it's risky, but it happens. But as the world is changing, cash is going away. Like more people are coming with either Zelle or all those things. So by law, if they are paying with debit card, we cannot charge them fees. So the state, the federal law changed the law, where before we used to charge people for their debit and credit card. Now, if they have a debit card, we cannot charge them fees, extra fees. Like
Credit you can?
no, credit we can, yes.
Like the 2 or 3%.
Yeah.
And that's up to you on how much you want to charge, or is it?
Normally, dealers will charge like 3 to 5%, but we advertise it properly. We have a sign by our credit card. We tell them right away if you're not paying, if you're not wiring us the money. Because it depends about how much the dollar amount. If they're giving us $10,000 above $10,000, we want to wire. We don't even want to cash $10,000 because then we have to report them. There's a call form. We're gonna go further. There's a form called 8300 by IRS. So if they are giving us over $10,000, we have to report them to IRS. We have to fill that one-page form and fax it to IRS.
As a dealer?
As a dealer, it's law. If we don't, we can. Because yes, so a lot of dealers got in trouble for this. They end up going jail for this because they was dealing with drug people, and they was not, they was getting cash and selling them cars and not reporting them.
So anyone bringing above a certain amount,
And 10,000 cash.
10,000 cash.
If it's 9,900, you're okay on your bill of sale.
Is there a different limit for state also?
No, just one number, 10,000. Just remember 10,000.
And this is cash.
Just cash.
So if someone's paying credit or
No, it does not apply. Does not apply. You could buy a car $15,000 on credit. We don't report to anyone. Or debit, we don't report to anyone.
But if I'm selling my personal at home, it doesn't matter?
It does not matter to you. If
What
you
is
are
that form called that you have to fill in?
8,300. Well, we're going to talk about that right now more. But so when we asked for a payment, what happened to us as fraud was there was a debit or credit card fraud. Back in the days, sometimes you will swipe a card and the machine will tell you call this number or call this number to get approval. You swipe the card and it'll say, like if it's a American Express or if it's a Visa Discover, back in the days it used to happen a lot, they will say like call this number to get approval. So you will call the number and then you punch in that PIN or whatever number they give you on the phone. And then it says approved. And 90% of the time that was good, like 99% of the time that was good. But we had incident where people came, they bought 3 cars from us. And my guys wouldn't the red alert didn't came in, like all their sensors didn't work. They let them go with 3 cars. And the next thing we know was the whole thing was fake. It was a drama. How it was a drama? Because the machine, the card was already programmed to call a number which their own people picked up. They act like professional and they gave us a PIN, we put it in, it says approved, and we lost money. Yeah. And then I was so mad, and those 3 cars was worth like $14,000, $15,000. Even though, that's back in the days, $5,000 a car is still $15,000. Okay, another thing. Back in the days, Chase Bank will allow you as a consumer to send money to a dealer. Like, so one case scenario, we had this cashier check came for $8,000 a car. And same time, customer called that I'll take it. Our customer called and he said that I just overnighted you guys for my bank, I send you guys $8,000. Chase will allow that. That was the most common thing back in the days. We got $8,000 cashier check in your choice name, everything looked good. We even called Chase and verified the damn check. And they said, yes, it's good. And then we let the car go. The next thing in the evening, the shipper came. He said, I'm here to pick up the car or whatever. And the car was going out of state. And then we deposited the check and they said, bank returned it. And we said, why? Because they said it was a fraud. Like somebody hacked into their account, sent that check, and then they acted as a customer. And that whole thing was a fraud. So now if we are shipping vehicles, we want to be extra alert. If somebody is coming to pick it up, and if it's an out-of-state customer, all those are red alerts. Like if the money is coming in the mail. So we don't even do that anymore. If a customer is not coming, we tell them, listen, you have to do wire. Or the only other option is you mail us a cashier check, and once it's clear, like after 7 business days, then we will talk to you. We're not going to talk to you even before that. So all these things happen to us, and we learn our lessons. Got slap on the face, learn, and got better. But these things happen to us. So right now, if my guys are doing sales and they see something where, they see something is out of the way, they will call me, and then from my brain, all the things have happened, I will give them the best answer what to do. But this have happened to us.
So what's the best way you guys prefer right now?
So wire, or when they get a cashier check, not until it.
If they are not LNI customer, if they're not in-state customer, and they bought us a cashier check, if they did not come in, then it's a big red alert. Then we're not releasing the car until the whole thing clears for 7 days, 7 business days.
They don't come in themselves?
They have to come in themselves. If they come in themselves, we still look at which car they came in, write their plate number, just be sure, check their IDs, call the cashier check place to verify whoever issued it, do everything, try our best. Because we can, if they came in from far away, they bought the cashier check, we cannot not give them a car. We have to give them a car.
People that come to the dealership and say, okay, I'm going to write you a check for $2,000.
We don't take personal checks.
You don't take personal checks
No.
as down payment?
No.
Okay.
We tend to stay away from that. So sometimes my guys will do it on case-to-case basis, but generally we don't. Why Islam?
But there is, sorry, just confirming, isn't
Yes.
there a system in place where you can actually check right away if the check is good?
There's companies
No,
who,
does WeBuy have that thing where he can check that the check is good? The guy has this much money in the account. Like, when they run it.
there's a companies who you can run a check. It's called eCheck, or there's companies.
Right.
You can run a check. We used to have that. We don't have that anymore.
So no personal checks.
We don't do personal checks, but case to case. Let's say there's a customer and he say, I can show you my bank account right now. I have money, and we trust the guy. Then we'll end up taking a check. It's case to case basis, depending on trust building with the customer. So now I have talked to you about Okay, everything looked normal. He's buying a car for $6,000. He gave me $6,000 cash. Or he gave me with a credit card. I charged them 3% fees. He gave me with a debit card. By law, I cannot charge them the fees. Okay. First thing is we collect the damn money before we do anything. After the test ride, we agreed. We clear the money before we do the paperwork. Because we don't want to do the paperwork and then ask for the money and, oh, I don't have the money. Oh, I'm short. Oh, we don't want to go in that drama. So the first thing you always want to do is you agree on the price, you want to collect your money, then do the paperwork. Because you don't want to waste all that time doing the paperwork and then their card didn't go through. Now waste of time.
The other person is comfortable giving you money first?
Yeah, they are, because we are getting the paperwork done, and we tell them, listen, this is they and us, we agreed on the price. We on a sheet of paper or on our computer, we're showing them, okay, this much, if you're paying this much, because there's so many softwares. You can just put in the software the price, it will tell you text, style, plates, everything. So we show them the numbers, like this is your total price with the text, style, plate, documentation. Just recently, FTC got really hyper on dealers, where they are enforcing dark fees has to be advertised on the online price. So whatever we advertise online, that has to include dark fees. Dark fees is a documentation fees which we charge, but by law, it's allowed. Some states have capped, but it's not a state fees. It's something we charge as a dealer. It's called dark fees. But now the FTC has really went after dealers and said, because before, I give you guys an example why that happened. So there was dealers, new car stores, who was charging like $1,500 dealer fees or dark fees, and all that was garbage fees. It was junk fees, or like a transport. They will call it theft fees or some bullshit. All that was the shitty fees, like garbage fees. They will make extra money like that. If they sold if they sold 100 cars and they charge $1,500, that's $150,000. That's a lot of money. So that's what they was doing, and the FTC got so many complaints, and now they're finally enforcing it, where they said, listen, whatever you want to charge as a garbage fees, including the price. We don't care how you characterize it later, but whatever online price you advertise, all the fees has to be there. Only thing you can exclude is the tax, style, and plates.
Okay, so if I am advertising my car for $9,999, that should include that document fee in there of $1,100, $1,200, whatever it is.
You cannot even charge $11, $12. State of Illinois caps it at $377. Right now the cap of dark fees is $377.
So that should be the out the door price, basically.
Yes, out the door before the tax and plates.
Yes, before the tax.
Yes,
So dog fee, so in that 10,000 dog fee is
has to be included now.
included.
That's
How do you, by the way, how do you get updated? Oh, this new thing came in. Like,
it was all over the media. It was everywhere. Everyone know, and then all the companies who advertise, they send us emails. They start telling us, listen, this is a new FTC enforcing it. You have to be careful. And then we made sure that everywhere we have our car advertised is priced with our dark fees, which is $377 for us. But that's what state allows. So state changes every year. It increases a little bit, like $10 or something like that. It's been going up since I started business. Every year it goes $10 or $15 up.
Is a line item?
so
you
the
have to show
370
price? You have to show that price as a line item, dog fee, or no?
It's a separate line item.
Okay.
It's a separate line.
What is the purpose of the dog fee? Like, that they
It's just a documentation fees. We as dealers charge. So they will have their cash price, like sale price. They will have dark fees. They will have sales tax, and they will have title and plate. That's what we charge them. That's all we can charge them by law. If they are buying in cash, the sale price, dark fees, then sale price and dark fees becomes total price with the dark fees.
Right.
And then on sales tax is charged with the dark fees. Whatever the amount becomes with sale price plus the dark fees, that becomes total price multiplied by so much sales tax.
Okay.
Depending on where you live, your sales tax is different.
Sales price? Dog
Sales tax. Sales tax is charged depending on where you live. It's not by where the dealership is. It's by where you live. So like we'll have a customers, yeah, and the Wisconsin we don't charge the sales tax. So for them it's very easy peasy.
Indiana?
So Indiana we do 6%, 6.25 actually.
Okay.
So
And
They-
where do you find out what tax percentage is?
It's very easy. You just Google, there's a PDF, like a 2-page PDF, which tells you which states you must collect tax from state Illinois.
Right.
They, Indiana, Illinois Department of Revenue give us a paper which says that these states you have to must collect tax or no. Most states are tax exempt, means we don't collect sales tax from them.
Wouldn't this be part of your software though? So like, once
Yeah, software will catch it too. But back in the days we do it manually.
Okay, so-
But now everything is on the software.
Okay, so you collected 6.25% for an Indiana customer. Now, you have to send that money to Indiana? That tax? money?
No, we just give it to Illinois. We don't deal with Indiana. We just give it. We just deal. They have agreement between the states. It's called reciprocal states. So state of Illinois will collect on Indiana behalf, and they deal directly. We don't care about that. But simple is the simple. If you have a software
Right.
which you first got, like Zeus, Fraser, any of those dealer softwares, you make sure that just get that form and just check one time all the taxes, everything is right, and then you're good.
Okay.
You just
Sales dock fee become total, sales taxes on top of that total, and then we have tax.
We have
that's
title.
And title,
plate.
right?
That's it.
No, title plate is part of the sale price.
No, it's not.
No, it's
That's a
after
so,
the sales tax.
like we call it a government charges. So sales tax is a government charge. Title and plate is a government charge. It's an entity, government entity, which is charging it, which is Illinois Secretary of State is charging us. So those are government charges which we don't regulate, we don't control, we cannot upcharge them. So back in the days, like there was something called driver permit. So in Wisconsin, like if we have a customer from Wisconsin, driver permit will cost us $27, and the most dealers will charge $50. So they was trying to be cute and make $23, but that was wrong. We could not upcharge state charges. State charges $27, that's all we can charge. We could charge dock fees on top of that, that's not a problem. But we cannot, and if we're charging dock fees, it has to be advertised.
Sales tax that you collect, you have to pay every quarter to the state or
No,
every month?
no, it's just paid. Now the state wants you to pay right away if you're issuing a
Also, when
TRP.
you send the card registration and you pay it with them?
You pay right away, online.
Okay.
Like, so sales tax, so I'm gonna get to that point, so let's slow down. First, let's talk about the bill of sale. What goes on the bill of sale as a line item? Sale price, dock fees, that becomes total price. Then you have sales tax, which gets calculated by your software, and then you have title and plate. And then you have total price. You always want to write down how you collected the money with your hand. If they paid you with a credit card, write with the hand with the last four of the credit card, pay with the credit card, pay with the debit card. You always want to write that shit. How you got the money, how you got paid. That's very, very important. On your bill of sale, because bill of sale is the mother of all the contracts. I call it mother of all the contracts. Then you have all those extra babies, extra documents. But bill of sale is the key document in this business. So bill of sale has to be done right. Like if it's employed warranty, we have to mention employed warranty. If it's as is, we have to mention as is. But the software will do that for you. But sometimes you have goofy guys or new guys working, and they will make employed warranty into as is, and they mess up the paperwork. And that can happen to us too. So you have to make sure that when you're printing the documents, the software, you're clicking on the right click, because you can make it as is, you can make it employed. So you make sure you printed the right documents to print. And then depending on how you collected the money, you write it down. That's bill of sales is one important document you have. Then the next important document is buyer's guide. Buyer's guide is something which is given to us by FTC, Federal Trade Commission, and then Sale and I just added employed warranty in it. So now we have two kinds of buyer guides. One is which is for as-is customers above 150,000 miles, and one is under 150,000 miles, which is employed warranty. So buyer's guide, you can just Google it. It's very easy. So there's one with employed warranty, which for employed customers, and the other one is that. Then the next thing is automated statement, like mileage disclosure. So anything below 2010 is exempt now. 2010 and above, you have to mention the mile. That's a new law. Before, it used to be anything over 10 years exempt in state of Illinois. But then federal government came and they said anything 2010 and above for 20 years. So that 20 years did not hit yet. So for 20 years, that will be the thing, that anything below 2010 and below is exempt. So exempt from mileage. So if you're selling a car for 2010, you don't have to mention the mileage. Just put exempt. You don't have to. It's exempt. By
Above or below?
below,
Below, right.
like 2009, 2008 exempt. But 2011, as soon as it becomes 2011, you have to mention the mileage on all your documents. And you have to do something called mileage disclosure automated statement. We call it so many different things. But you must, that's an extra document we get. Automated statement, mileage disclosure, those are three, for a cash sale, those are three most important documents. Those are the three most important things you must have in your jacket. Other than everything else, those are the three most important things. You cannot miss the buyer's guide, you cannot miss the bill of sale. So back in the days, you know, when I first started my business, I said above 10 years was exempt, right? So I was selling everything above 10 years. So for me, it was only 2 papers. I could sell a car, do the paperwork in 5 minutes and do handwritten paperwork. At that time, there was I didn't use software or anything like that. And then the other most important thing was sales tax form. But we used to fill it with the hand. Now, the computer will print it for you. So that has to be done. Sales tax has to be done, and you have to give the customer the copy. Anything customers sign, you have to give them a copy by law. And then the
You know what?
copy. You make copies of everything and give it to them. So sales tax is another thing, important thing, sales tax form. We call it ST556. ST556. In Illinois, we call it ST556. So what are the 4 things? Mr. Rahil, tell me, what are the 4 things?
Bill of sale, buyer's guide, the odometer certificate, or what do we call it? Odometer
Automated statement.
Statement, and then the ST556.
Sales tax form. So those, if you got this done, you covered everything for cash sale. And then, like, you know, you want to make sure that you have their ID. That was the first thing we did. We have the ID. Write it down. This should be the 5th thing, but that should be the first thing because you went on the test drive. So you have their ID,
Copy of their.
copy of their ID, and you want to write their phone number down. Because you know, if they do something wrong, the state is gonna. If the state cannot find them, they're gonna come to us. The first thing they come knocking us. Where's the documents? Show us. Like, you know, how you sold the car. Where's all the documents?
Could you read the bill of sale, sales tax form, and what else?
Mileage disclosure.
Let's just go there.
So we started with bill of sale. The second thing was buyer's guide.
Buyer's guide.
Yes. The third thing is the mileage disclosure. And then the
4th is ST556.
4th is the sales tax, ST556.
I've also seen as is.
How long?
I've also seen as is written, right? That's the buyer's guide for anything above 150K.
Yes,
Is that right?
I did mention that. If it's as is, you have to do as is buyer's guide. If it's employed, you have to mention employed.
2010, before exempt, below 150 is guaranteed, above 150 is.
It's not a guarantee, it's just employed law. Employed law comes on it,
And above 150 is.
as is. And then when we say what is as is, there's more to that. You know, anything over 20 years, anything over 25 years, because they consider it antique, so it does not come in employed law. Anything over 8,000 pounds, let's say you're selling a box truck or a big cargo van, it's over 8,000 pounds. It does not cover, it's as is. So there's more to just 150,000 miles. There's more, like even if it's miles an hour actual, that's as is. That will be as is. If it's a rebuild title, that will be as is. So all those, like 3-4 different more things get added. But the biggest thing for you to know is if it's under 150,000 miles and the car is within 25 years, I have to sell with employed warranty.
So when we use those, we print all of these from this. Those will tell us it's greater than 150, so it will print the right.
No, these kids do mistakes. You have to choose. Sometimes Zeus will not.
We have to choose that.
You have to choose. We find mistakes, you know, and Anjumbai find mistakes. So basically, because we have big operations, so we have auditors, our own auditors, who go audit the paperwork of our salespeople, and then they find mistakes. They tell me, and then I scream on my guys. But you know, we have our own audit in place.
You're selling 500 cars a month?
Between the auction, wild bill, and your choice, we average about 400.
One question, how long do you have to keep this archive documentation?
3 years.
So 3 years is minimum, 5 years is ideal, and then if you keep long, because any problem come in, why you need these documents? Because if there's a problem, so we normally keep it for 5 years. We keep it for 5 years.
5 years, okay.
Physical copy or digital copy?
Everything, like the whole jacket, we keep it for 5 years. We don't shred them, we don't do nothing to them. 5 years, we save everything. Everything we have on that customer.
Is that a requirement to have physical copies?
Yes, it's a requirement. So you have a jacket, everything signed, everything we have.
Can you scan it in the system or no? In the computer?
But, you know, like you could scan it, but, you know, you could have a physical jacket. If the Secretary of State Police comes, they want to see a physical jacket with all the documents in there.
When is a vehicle recall disclosure necessary?
Sorry, repeat your
Vehicle recall disclosure, when is that necessary?
Okay, so recalls, we don't disclose them. We just tell the customer it's your responsibility. We have our own website. We just give them a Carfax and tell them, like, if there's a recall, you have to get it done. And we tell it openly. We mention on our website. We don't want to get into that recall thing.
Okay.
If it's done, not done, it's you as a customer go make sure, because we don't have time for that.
So the title that you give, the buyer has to sign it, and in the seller, it's your name? The deed, how does that work?
Yes, I'll get to that point now. So after all this, another most important thing is the title. So normally, because we are a big operation, we don't have title on site. So we make them sign a power of attorney to us, so we can mail them a title and sign on their behalf. But if they're out of state customer, we mail them title. If they're in state, we get their paperwork done. So we just get the power of attorney signed from them.
From the customer?
Yes, they sign is by state. It's like a red and white thing. We call it red and white. When you become a dealer, they supply you that. It's a power of attorney by Secretary of State. So it's just one page. It's very simple that they authorize us to do their title and plate paperwork. They're not giving us for one car. That customer, you as a customer, have to sign power of attorney. For me to get the paperwork.
Every car you do power of attorney?
Yes, if we don't have a title on site. If I don't have title on site, then I'll do the power of attorney. If I have title on site, I'll make them sign the title.
Okay.
Because
But how do you keep track of I have title on site for this because you have 500 vehicles, let's say there?
that's what I said, we just do power of attorney. But sometime you will have a customer who say, no, I want to see a physical title.
Okay.
I'm not going to give my money if I don't see the title. Then you got to bring the damn title.
Okay.
Because you want to sell the car.
From where?
We have a central place, so we call our auditors, and we have people who just have that authority to deal with the titles. Not everyone can touch the titles, because that's money. So we only have few people who have that authority, and then they will call those people, and then those people, if they can, they will get them the title copy as soon as
You don't
possible.
keep all titles either in Waukegan or Elgin, you just have them at one other place.
Yeah.
Mostly where you store it.
Yes, so basically it's our place where we store all of our titles. Okay, so like what we just talked about in detail, and we had like make sure that you get the signatures done, make sure, cash deal is easy, but you have to make sure that you did everything in compliance. You have all the forms signed. Cash deal is, like I said, 3-4 years I only did cash because it was the easiest thing to do. Don't have to deal with the financing, don't have to do with all the extra paperwork, all the loan disclosures, all this, all that. It's just it's a different ball game. And then when you're selling a cash car, expensive car, but cash, let's say 20,000 car, 25,000, we call it expensive in our language. Like, that's how we feel. Like 25,000 a car and we're selling cash. Cash means they wired us money. We still consider it as cash because it was not financed. In 3 minutes, I'll take a break. So if they gave us a car, they send us wire, it's still, the paperwork is much easier than if we did a deal with the financing, because there's a lot more paperwork then and a lot more rules. Then you have a privacy notice, you have a lot more things, but we're gonna talk about that in the next session.
So you didn't mention the title thing. How do we hand over the title?
Okay, so if you have a power of attorney signed, then you're done. You don't give them the title.
But what if I don't?
You have to get the power of attorney signed. Either you gotta do the title signed or power of attorney. If the customer lives in Illinois, you must have them sign the power of attorney or the title.
So
If it's out of state customer, that's the only customers you mail them the title. And sometime if out of state customer, we tell them we'll mail you the title. It'll come in the mail. And then we leave this part where they have to sign.
So a dealer, the title that he gets, the buyer is not mentioned over there. You're not mentioned in that title, right?
No, I mentioned.
He buys it from the
So
auction.
basically, okay, let's slow
I don't
down.
understand that.
Let's
sequence.
okay, I'll show you. So when we bought a car from the auction, it gets sold to a dealership. There's in the back of the title. There's reassignments. We call it assignments. So it gets assigned to a dealer, and then one dealer can sell to another dealer. So it has like L&I has over 5 assignments, reassignments. So we could sell from one dealer to one dealer to one dealer. 5 people can sell each other, and then
Without
if
transferring it.
without paying for anything,
Okay.
it's dealer to dealer.
Yeah.
Just all you have to do is fill the reassignment, do the bill of sale, do the tax, zero tax. Because zero tax means that we sold it to a dealer, so we don't end up paying sales tax. Even a wholesale transaction, we still have to do the wholesale tax. We have to do a zero tax because we sold that car. We have to put in our system that we sold to a dealer. Because if the state come, anyone come, we're going to talk about something called police book in a more detail a little bit after. But police book itself is some, you have to make, the system will maintain it for you. You just have, that's police book, all police book is the information for police. Before you show them a jacket, you should be able to tell them, looking at the police book, and now it's online. Before it used to be handwritten police book. We used to write every car, which auction we got it, which dealer we got it, when we got it, how much we paid, who we sold it, how much we got, everything on a handwritten note. It was like a book. And now it's online, yes.
So no dealer shows up as a buyer on the title, like how many buyers purchase this car?
They basically are dealers, so it's called dealer reassignments. They're not buyers.
Okay.
Buyers will be like they are buyers, but they are dealer reassignments. There's no title paperwork involved other than just reassign the title to them.
So let's say you're
Okay, we're gonna take a break now. 8:45, we'll take a break. 15 minutes. You guys can stretch out, use the restroom. You can get the number from.
insurance. What did
Listen.
he say about insurance, the liability, or the?
I'll explain you right now. I'll explain. Okay. Okay, we're gonna stop a little bit this, and we're gonna talk that because that's more important now. And because you guys have a questions popping up, so I'm gonna tell you guys the answers. Huh?
This one.
Wholesale, like the license. We're just gonna talk about licensing now. Wholesale licensing, because we just talked to the guy. Okay, so the wholesale licensing. Your question. What was your question again?
The dealer plate insurance, the liability.
Okay,
that you
so they will have a dealer plate insurance. The only insurance they're not going to have is for your merchandise. Let's say you bought a car for $50,000. You bought 3 cars for $50,000. You put them somewhere, and your car get a hit or accident. They will cover liability, like if you hit someone on your plate, but they wouldn't cover your car because you don't have insurance for that. That costs extra money. And then, depending on, and you decide how much you want. Let's say you have a cars for $300,000 running around in different auctions. You want to have the coverage for that. And because the dollar amount can be changed. Normally, a lot of wholesalers just do a liability only insurance, and then they take all the liability off their cars. Let's say if a transporter damaged their car, someone damaged their car, then they end up paying from their pocket. Some of them get depending on how much money they want to play with. They want to play with 100,000, or if they have a floor plan, they must get an insurance. If they don't get an insurance, the floor plan will charge them insurance, and their insurance is crazy. So we're going to go back in the class. Okay, so we was talking about cash process, So when we are selling car, if you have a very big lot, you want to make sure you are selling the right car. We can have multiple cars with same year, almost same miles, but we want to match the VIN number because mistakes happen. We even have mistakes happen where we did a different paperwork and different car customer drove because customer drove that car and it happens. Shit happens. So you have to make sure your salespeople are trained that when they're selling the car, they match the VIN number, they take the mileage from the car, everything has to match. Because sometimes they're so busy they didn't even look at the mileage of the car. They only took it from the pictures, from our website pictures. And then the car was driven 1,000 miles more. Now the customer is going crazy because you did the wrong paperwork or it was a finance contract. So just to keep life simple, when you're selling the car, if you only have one car, you know the VIN number. But if you end up getting 15, 20, 30 cars and you have multiple cars, it's like let's say you are only playing Toyota Camrys and you have multiple Camrys. You want to match the VIN number and you don't want to match at the time of sale. You want to match, make sure that and take the picture of your mileage and make sure that you're putting the right miles what's on the car right now when you're selling the car. Those are two important things. So when mileage, price, all those things, make sure there's no customer identity is very important. Like I told you guys, their ID. If there's two people buying it, we gotta have the ID for both of them, and then people can buy in their company name. They could buy in their company name. All we need is we still need their ID. Because ID we will need, but we want to make sure that they own that company. So they got to give us some paperwork which shows the article of incorporation and they are the president or they are entitled to buy on that company behalf. Are we clear? So people can buy cars in their company name. But I talk about as-is, talk about the automated statement. Your bill of sale is your proper receipt. We use, some dealers have a separate paper, like a receipt for the money collected, like a down payment or something. We don't do that. We just use bill of sale as our receipt. We just handwrite.
Plain piece of paper? That's it? Handwritten on it?
No, bill of sale. The bill of sale will get printed from the Zeus, the software we use. We write down on that how we collected the money. Simple as that. And we don't have to do a separate receipt for that. We just use our bill of sale as how we collected the money. We keep it simple.
Regular, whatever you find online, right?
No,
There's nothing specific about the bill of sale. I'm just asking.
Yeah, you could, like when you're a wholesaler, it's an easy one-page bill of sale, but then all the dealers, the retailers, we use software because it keeps us easy, compliance, everything is there. The police book is all good. Everything is good because police book itself is a job. I'm going to talk 5 to 10 minutes just about police book, but I want to keep going about this because the time is clicking for us now. Okay, collect. Like we talked about, we use bill of sale as a receipt, customer copies, give them copies, do not deliver until the payment is square. We don't even do the paperwork until the payment is square. We even be extra careful with that because we had scenarios where we did the paperwork and the customer card didn't go through. Or the customer said, oh, my brother is bringing the money, or they pull out their checkbook. We told them we don't take checks, but they still pull out the checkbook. So we went through all that. That's why we made the changes. Because we went through all these problems and then we said, okay, we're going to make it simple. Title work is the biggest risk in the areas. You want to make sure that you have a title. If you don't have a title, means like if you're a wholesaler, you got to have a title. You cannot play without the title. Like you should not be selling a car, doing nothing until you have the damn title. If you're a retailer, you still should have a title. State allows you 21 days. State allows you 21 days to do the paperwork. Because the title can be with the floor plan anywhere. So state Illinois allows you 21 days. But if you're a wholesaler, you cannot even sell the car without the title. And you should not be selling to public, you're selling to dealer, but you need the damn title. So best thing is if you're a wholesaler and you're trying to sell a car to a dealer or give it to a dealer, you gotta have a title. We talked about rebuild, sell it a little bit. We talked a lot about it on session 1 and 2. You can watch the videos. The title absent does not really make any difference for us. The only thing it makes a big difference is if you bought a car title absent and your floor plan start charging you from the day first. So if you bought a car for $20,000, you floored it, and the title is absent for 30 days, now you can't sell the car, but the floor plan is costing you money every day. Because floor plans either charge you interest per day or they charge you so many days for so much money. But you're still going to get charged. So you just want to make sure that, once you get into business, like a lot of these online platforms, they even rate Open Lane rate the sellers. They say how fast the sellers give the title, like 10 days, 5 days. So you can see that somebody has a long number, like 30 days, you don't want to buy from him. Because if he's going to take 30 days for title, it's not worth it. TMU is not extra miles. Some of the out-of-state titles do not allow reassignment. That I'm going to clear this. So you were talking about reassignment. So it's most of the states allow reassignments. Reassignments is what we use to sell to public. But some states do not. Ohio do not. So if we get an Ohio title, we have to get a title in our name. Okay, if you are, no, we don't have to pay taxes, nothing. Because we're a dealer, we don't pay nothing. Only thing we have to pay is just the fees. For Illinois, it's $20. If we do urgent, it's $50. So, and Wisconsin, it might be $20, $30. So it's not crazy money. It's $20, $30. It's just you have to mail the title. But if you want to do urgent, it can be a little bit more, like $40. You could just mail them the application and the title, the one you got, and they'd send you the title.
As a wholesaler.
Wholesaler or retailer, both options. If a title don't have a reassignment, you have to get the damn title. Because you can't sell it to anyone without getting a title in your name now. Because Ohio do not have reassignments. Some states do not have reassignments. Wrong mileage or date, make sure, if you're filling a title, don't do mistakes. If you're playing on the title, if you mess up, then you have to do affidavits. It just brings an extra headache. Like now you have to make a damn affidavit for like the name is wrong, anything is wrong, you have to make affidavits. It just creates extra stress, extra time. Every mistake you do on the title, you have to make affidavit for that. There was no fraud attended, and then you describe what you did and sign it. And then if there was two people involved, let's say if there was a buyer involved, then you have to make them sign too. So it becomes extra headache. So don't do mistakes on title. A lot of people are remitters. There's people who are remitters. If you ever get a retail license, these people will help you go to the state, get the paperwork done, get everything done for you. So we use remitters. So there's like people who specialize in sending the paperwork to the state. After my guys do the paperwork, we give it to them, and then they catch our mistakes and they send to the state. So we have less problems. And they charge.
They walk in.
No, they can walk in, they can send, they charge us $20 a deal, which is affordable, but they take the whole liability of going to the state, getting it done for us.
It's a different company than yours.
Yes, it's a different company. It's called Remitter. And there's a Remitter, state license Remitter. They state give them a license to do that. And there's companies called like V2. V2 is an electronic plate company, which allows you to do an electronic plate right at the spot.
Use that too?
V2, V-I-T-U, V2.
We do, okay.
A dealer track also allows that. So they charge so much, like $25, $30, $50, different fees to do electronic plates right away. So we don't even have to give a customer a TRP, which is a template. In Illinois, we do temp tags. If we are a retailer, it allows 9 days for a customer to get their plates. Like we do the paperwork, but the time frame is 9 days to get everything done for them because we are doing it. But if you are a wholesaler, you're never going to be giving them any plates because you can't. By law, you cannot be doing that. But people just play games or whatever they do. But the best thing is yes.
After you complete, Majuri.
No, I was done.
Majuri, what if somebody walks in, pays money upfront, buys the car on cash, gives us an ID which later turns out to be fake? So would we be charged any penalty by the state?
No, we don't. But if they give us cash, they're not going to give you fake ID. So don't even worry about it. It never happens. We never have a scenario like that. If they're going to go do something like a big crime, but we never happen. And then we always want to make sure. There's even a device, and there's things now where you can verify IDs, and you pay subscription or stuff like that. There's all kind of stuff right now with that. But my guys are trained enough to like physically look at the ID, and we can tell if there's something flashy.
But the state doesn't charges any penalty in any scenario?
If you did not do anything, it's the intention. If you did everything right, you got the ID, you didn't do, like they're gonna come and check your stuff, and if everything is right, then you didn't do nothing wrong. Because they look at, like they have to prove an intention that you did fraud or you did something wrong. If you did everything right and just somebody fraud you, what you can do? You're just a human being. And humans tend to do mistakes.
So you use V2 and DealerTrack both at your
We use V2, we don't use DealerTrack. We don't use DealerTrack for plates. We use DealerTrack for F&I, for our finance applications. The buyer's guide is in Illinois, we have employed, we have as is. FTC wants every car on your lot to have buyer's guide if you're a retailer. If you're a wholesaler, you don't have to have buyer's guide on the car because you're not selling to public, so you should not be driving around with the buyer's guide. But if we have a retail lot, we gotta have buyer's guide on every damn car. As is means dealer is not providing a dealer warranty. There's, as is, the service contract is not automatically the same thing as dealer warranty. So service contract is not a dealer warranty. It's not something we are giving warranty. It's a service contract by third-party company. We are just selling it and trying to make money in the middle. We could sell a service contract on cash transition. We cannot sell a GAP because GAP only applies to financing, but we could sell a service contract on cash transition. So we could sell like a powertrain warranty for 6 months, for $700 of a cost is $300, we made $400 in the middle. You know, and people do that. Sometimes people say, oh, I want some kind of a modern transfer warranty. And we tell them, okay, listen, we have a powertrain warranty for 6 months, 6,000 miles. You want it, it's only $700. Yes, I want it. Good.
But then they have to take it to a ACE certified mechanic when you sell this type of warranty. And that's the warranty that you want, or do you handle that warranty at your location?
No, we sell it. We sell
you sell
it,
it.
and they can go to anywhere.
Anywhere.
Any mechanic shop which accepts credit card, because warranty companies, they pay with a credit card. So they ask, like when it goes to the shop, they ask the shop like some questions before, like, you know, if like please check the car, tell us what's wrong with the car with this, and if it's covered in their warranty, they will cover it. They'll just give them the credit card number and cover it.
So once the car leaves my premises, legally I'm not responsible after signing the bill of sale?
Yes, it's done. It's their. They bought it. It's their problem. It's their car. You just gotta make sure the paperwork is right, and then it's their car. It's not like buying a candy, or going to a Walmart and buying a toy. It's a car. It's a big financial transition. You, after buying a house, this is the second biggest thing you have done in your life, is buying a car. So it's
Videos of that? There's a video capturing thing?
no. You should have a camera in your business, but all I'm saying is, you did everything right, then that's it. Like, you know, you don't have to have a video proof that you sold them a car. Known issue should be discussed in writing. If you know the car, sometimes you'll buy a car with a structural issue. Like there was a structurally damaged car. It's a clear title. It was announced at auction, structural damage. You bought it with a structural damage. Now you're selling it with the customer, telling them there was an accident before. You just want them to sign the Carfax. Like you want to have some proof that they knew about this problem, and you keep in your jacket. You told them a problem. If you told them a problem, make something signed. Don't just assume that telling them this thing, like the car has rust or a frame rust, and then they say, oh, give me $500 off, I'll take it. Okay, you're taking it, now I'm gonna write it down. I'm gonna put in, you want everything in writing, why you gave the money off, what happened, so you're covered.
So I can print the Carfax report, shows frame damage reported, have them sign that. so
Yes,
that-
they sign it, they date it, you're good.
How does the Carfax thing work? You buy a separate account or you do everything?
You gotta do a subscription with Carfax. So if you're a dealer and you have a retail license, you know, they, depending on how many cars you have, let's say you have 10 cars, they only give it for $300, $400, $500 per month. But then they have two packages. One is just for the history, and one is they advertise their cars, your cars too. So sometimes they will advertise your 10 cars if you have a small warehouse place, and they'll charge $500, $600, which is affordable. And unlimited Carfax just for you, you cannot share with other people. Because if they find it, they will lock your account. If they see a lot of stuff is happening with other dealers, they have their own way of finding it. So you have to be careful. You cannot share your Carfax with other people.
Do they have packages for wholesale dealers?
No, they don't. Because wholesale should not be. You know, I never did the research to tell you to answer your question correctly. You should call Carfax and find out.
Right,
But
because as buyers at the auction, we would
yeah,
not
yeah.
have-
They might have something, but I tell you the truth, I never asked them the question. So
Carfax is the only option?
auto check, second is auto check.
Auto check?
Remember I told you all the auctions, they don't use a Carfax. They only use auto check.
They charge too? You have to buy that?
Yeah, auto check is much cheaper. Much cheaper. Like,
What's the difference?
so Carfax have a customer, like people, public know Carfax more than AutoCheck. People don't know, sometimes we have to explain them, AutoCheck is owned by Experian, you know, and it's as good as Carfax. But now we have Carfax. There was many years in the middle we didn't have Carfax. So that time we use AutoCheck. When we sell the car, people give AutoCheck. This the same thing, we just explained them a little bit. It's same as Carfax, it's just a different name. But now we have both.
Okay, so Carfax has different packages. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
we are like
Yeah.
providing our-
Okay, so like I said, if you know something, disclose it. If the customer declines independent inspection, make sure you get the sign like they are declining the independent inspection. If you are a retailer, you know all these extra things to protect you. Like if you make them decline that they declined, and these are extra things you're doing. What's most important? Those 5 things I told you in the start: your buyer's guide, your bill of sale, copy of their ID, the tax form, and the power of attorney or the title signed. Those are the 5 most important things. But all these things are extra protections. Like this, if I'm making them sign an independent, like an inspection waiver, then I'm protecting myself even more. Because I gave them the option. They said, no, we don't want to get inspected.
All
So
these documents are like where we can find these documents, like inspection paper.
These here, like the decline.
just you can make your own with ChatGPT. You know, we can give you some examples. That's not an issue. I can send you some examples when you start the business. You know, but softwares, all the softwares have these forms. So if you're using Zeus as a software to sell it to public, then all the forms are in there. It's very easy. Do not promise repairs. Do not talk things which you cannot do. And make sure you give them like the correct answers. So they have, if you're a retailer, you give them template. Your title and plates will be in before your temp tech expired, which can take up to 3 months. That's the best answer. Can I have it in 1 week? No, you can't. Only way you can have it if you pay extra money for urgent. So I can do urgent title and plate, but it will cost you extra $30. If they do that, you know, then we can do that. What was your question? Like, what was your question?
Like something not
Okay.
legal.
Okay. Okay, so you should not be doing something which is not legal. Should not be doing that. Just to keep it simple. Okay, buyer order bill of sale. We talked about that. Buyer's guide. We talked about that. As is. So you know, this is as is form is you already did the buyer's guide. So as is just a extra protection. Like if you have extra form of your own dealership to make them sign. Okay, they already did the buyer's guide. You're already protected. But making sign as is form for your dealership, that's extra thing. Or immediate statement, I told you, it must be done. You must keep the title copy in your jacket before you send to state. The ID copy is must. Payment receipt, we use bill of sale. Like people use a different method for payment receipt. They have different things, like how they collected the payment. Temp tags, like we talked about, State of Illinois gives a 90-day temp tag. They give you a login if you are a retailer. Trade-in. If you do a trade-in, sometime in cash deals, we do trade-ins. So we do a trade-in receipt, and we must collect the title from them. So it's called trade-in. Trade-in is, you know, anything trade-in. Like, you know, we are selling for $5,000 car. Their car is like an old car. We gave them $1,000, so we put on trade-in. And what they save taxes. So it's gonna go on the ST556. So they're gonna get $1,000 off in the sales tax. So if they have a trade-in, it goes on the ST556 as a trade-in. So those are trade-in. You know, then you have if they had a loan and you bought it with the lien payoff. So how you do that is when they are in front of you and they want you to sell you the car. You know, you're gonna like they are. Basically they have a trade-in and then they have a payoff. So that happens to us all the time. So then what we do is when we're selling our car, you know. If there's a payoff, then it gets added in their cost. Like, you know, we write down they have to pay that money to us if there's a payoff. But they are making us do the payoffs because we get the title and it's just has to be part of the bill of sale. There was a trade-in and then there was a payoff. It has to be on the bill of sale. Are we clear about this? And that happens. That's nothing out of the way.
The trade-in, 1 second. You said the trade-in, so if he's buying a $5,000 car, $1,000 is the trade-in, that is applied towards the tax, not the value of the car?
Value of the car and the tax, both things. But I was saying there was sometime they might. All these are examples. So you give them $1,000 of trade-in, and now they have $500 payoff they owe to the bank. I'm giving you example, all this example. So then you will put on your bill sale that they owe $500, and you're collecting that right now, so you can pay the bank. Because we're all talking cash right now. History report, if used in the sale, if you already, they knew about the problems on their Carfax, you make them sign, that's a good thing to do. All this text stuff, like if there was a problem, like if you made a promise, then it's in an email or text, then you want to save in your jacket. Like if you had an email, you promised a customer, you're never going to say this car is 100% good, there's nothing wrong with this car. All these are vague words. You never want to use that. Like you want to say the motor trans is good, I drove it, I checked it, it run fine for me. Just normal things which you can say. But if you say there's nothing wrong with the car, you're misinforming the customer. You're taking all the risk in the world. You cannot do that. These are used cars. Only thing we can say is the motor trans is good. I drove the car, we checked it, all the major stuff is good.
Is there something wrong? We should not tell it.
No, we want to disclose if we know something. It's a business practice. Our business, we try to disclose everything we know. If we know it, we disclose. Like tires, they can see. But anything else they cannot see, we try to disclose to be a fair business.
Like oil leak, something.
If we know, yes, we'll make a deal. They will check the car. We'll let them check it, get inspected if they want.
Everything.
We try to be the best dealer possible. There's no perfect dealers, but we try.
So some dealers sell certified cars.
Yes, so they get it certified from the manufacturer, from the franchise
That
store.
way you can tell them.
You could sell a certified car. You could charge, you know, you could charge like few $1,000 more for a certified unit and take it. When it goes to certified, they do all the, like, everything they get everything done, like the tires, the brakes, the rotors, the calipers, the oil, all the fluids, everything gets redone and then becomes certified. And it,
As a non-franchise dealer, you can get cars certified?
yeah, but who's going to certify them? The franchise dealer. But you could sell them.
I didn't know
So,
that.
so a lot of dealers do that. A lot of dealers will buy a car, do all the work themselves, and then send it for certification. And if dealer finds something else wrong with it, like, or not done, then they will do it and charge extra money for that. Because if I have my own mechanic shop, I'll do everything what the dealer will do and then send them for certification.
You have your own mechanics and everything?
Yeah, for this operation like this, we have a lot of them. Okay, so large transition, cash transition, we talked about it. I did mention Form 8300, anything above $10,000, you must fill the form, send it to them. Just be careful, you know, just if there's a cashier check, just I said in the start that be careful with the cashier checks. You know, we've been scammed many times. If there's a third party buyer, if there's a third party buyer, means that if this guy comes in and say my mom cannot make here, but we want to buy the car in my mom's name, this is her ID, she gave me a written permission. It's a third party buyer, so we want to make sure that who is here, everything, like in our senses, we do the best job. You get the copy of him, you know, his mom, everything, but the car in mom's name, but mom paid for it. We got the mom written permission, you know, that is, you know, it's a power attorney that he can sign for something. And now we have ChatGPT, so with ChatGPT we can make any document we want. Any legal document, we tell ChatGPT make a document for us, it makes it in a second, with the customer name and everything. So before in the days you didn't have that help, but now with ChatGPT, the world is open up to everything. Partial payment, if there's a payment due, a little bit payment like $200-300, you must put on a bill of sale, and you know, if it's approved by your company, like if you're not the owner, then you gotta make sure you have a paper trail for that. Just keep receipts. Just make sure if you're paying above 10,000, be careful. Form 8300 from IRS. It's on this. It's on your paperwork. Make sure you don't do a mistake, because that's the big flag. And people went to jail for it, and people got in trouble for that. Delivery is a point where many problems become expensive. Build a final review, have it before the keys. So make sure you got your payment, the customer identity is verified, all required signature is done, title status is understood. Like customer, your employee didn't tell the customer, you didn't tell the customer, oh, you're gonna have a title in 1 week. There's no way in the possible. If you're sending the paperwork to the state, it can take up to minimum 4 to 6 weeks, 8 weeks. States are slow now. Illinois state got rid of a lot of employees, they're running slow. So normal time is 8 weeks. If you do urgent, it can be 1 week. But we don't want to tell them something which we know, it's not going to happen, because they're going to start calling you from next week and then start putting reviews and all that for your business, because you told them something you don't even know. Make sure that the tax you charge it correctly. Do not do promise repairs which you don't know how much it will cost. So don't promise something you don't know how much it will cost. You rather give them money off than do that. If you don't know how much it will cost, if it's even a catalytic converter and you don't know how much it costs, rather give them $300, $400, $500, and if you're making money and call it a day, then making them promise, I'll change the catalytic converter, and the next thing it costs $1,500, costs $1,000 because it was 2 cats. Some cars have 2 cats, and when the customer says, no, I don't want aftermarket, I want original, so then you're gonna get burnt. So you rather give money off on a cash deal than promise all this stuff. So customer complaints will come. Any business, this is a part of business. Customer will be unhappy sometime, but we want to make sure that we have a better response, best response in a way. First, if we have a customer issue, first thing we do is we research to make sure what happened. Like if it brought to my attention or the management attention, what really happened. We do research, check our paperwork, and find if we did any mistake. If we did not do any mistake, sometimes we have to just explain to the customer, okay, you bought the car with the employee warranty, it covers so much. Now you're calling after 6 months, it's not covered. We can help you, getting the car repaired at a close by mechanic shop for this much, or you pay for you pay for the parts, we'll pay for the labor. Something to just make a good customer service, if we can. Sometimes we say, it's been 1 year, we can't do anything. You as a business will make your own policies how you want to handle your customers, but don't promise something you're not going to do. You cannot just, someone call you and say, hey, you bought the car as is, goodbye. You cannot do that. You gotta explain them the process that the car you bought does not have an employee warranty, was as is, but the time frame matters too. If they bought a car within 1 week, even you sold them as is, you want to help them. You want to be reasonable to people, to bring your business. And then the best thing is have it, make them, if you have a shop, just get it inspected, or use a mechanic shop you trust and tell them, okay, we use this mechanic shop, you can bring it over there, that's the mechanic we use. If you can bring it there and they can inspect it for us, and then we can go from there. Do not argue with them online. Make your all your, like if you have a business name, all your replies have to be like, with a ChatGPT, good response, so it's all professional. Stay calm. So what's the biggest problem happens in the business industry is we become emotional. Even a customer is emotional, as a business owner, we become emotional, and that becomes a big customer issue. And that happens a lot. So don't be emotional. It's a business, don't take it on your brain. And even though I have so many years of experience, I do this mistake, so I will just tell you, be as much calm you can. But I'm a hyper person, so I'm just different.
So in any case, if the customer's not happy and they put the reviews for you that, hey, this guy did this.
So we normally, if a customer put a review, we call them, we find out what's wrong, we try to see if we can resolve the issue. If we cannot, then we just reply to the review. But sometimes they are wrong, so on Google, if you reply the review within 48 hours and flag it if they are wrong, like in a way, if they violated their policy, they will take it off. So your 48 hours is very important. If you have a business and they put a review,
Someone has to keep an eye on the reviews.
you just get an alert. You just have a Google My Business app, like you have your email in there. So anytime someone put a bad review or good review, anything, you get alert. Stay calm, like I said, use the dates, mileage. So all these things really matters, like when you bought the car, what was the mileage, all those things are important. Do not argue emotionally by text or online. So if you start texting them and they text, don't do that. Text itself is a legal proof. Anything online is a legal proof. Do not admit liability, goodwill can be offered carefully. Just make sure, don't offer anything, just offer what you can. And make sure you respond to the reviews and put the facts. Facts are really important. Common compliance, beginner mistakes. Selling without complete paperwork. So you will have a dealer who don't even have buyer's guide filled out. Like they didn't even get the buyer's guide signed. You'll have a dealer who sold a car with the mileage, they have to mention the mileage, but they didn't do the mileage on meter statement. Those are common mistakes. People do that. Like people will, they don't have, somebody's selling rebuild, and the rebuild itself has a different disclosure you have to get signed. So then they sold a car rebuild and then didn't get a rebuild disclosure signed. Because if we ever sell a rebuild car, we have to have a disclosure signed. So after the car is rebuilt, we as a retailer can sell it. We don't have to be a salvage dealer. Only difference between us and a salvage people is salvage people buy those cars with salvage title and convert them to rebuild. Once they get converted, then anyone can sell them. Because they will sell to public might trade into us, and then we can sell it.
But it's better to stay away from it.
It's better to stay away from rebuild. Wrong mileage is one common mistake. Title mistake, incomplete assignments, like the customer did not sign, or you got a title from the auction and it was not filled out correctly, or there was signature was missing. Stuff can happen. There was a repo letter not being attached from the auction you bought. So all those things can happen. So if whichever auction you're buying the cars from, if you go to a physical auction, make a good friendship with the title people, title clerks, the ladies. Give them $50, $100 once in a while, be a good friends with them, and build your relationship. Sometimes they will help you catch all the problems for you. That $100 once in 6 months goes a long way.
Like a gift card.
Yeah, like gift cards. Something you build your friendship. They will help. You know, they know you. They are your like now they're your friends. They will watch your stuff before they hand over the titles to you because you're a new dealer, and you can tell them like, I'm a new dealer. I need help. Please make sure that you
How
check.
do you quickly repo? For instance, there was an issue where
We're going to talk about repo later because itself is a big question. So letting the customer take the vehicle before the payment is cleared, don't do that. If you're selling cash, you cannot do that. In F&I world, we do that all the time. F&I world is, we didn't get the money, but we let the car go. Because that's what happens. Banks pay us 1 week, 2 weeks later sometime. But that's how the business works. But in cash world, we need our money. If we sold the car cash, we need our damn money. The car is not leaving until I get paid. He gave me half and half is coming on the way. No, I need my money before my car leaves my property. As is paperwork, like taxes, temp tax, large cash payment, you must have reported. Do not act emotionally. Emotionally is a big problem. I said, allowing staff to make promises. So if you have an employee working for you, they are speaking for you. So if you have to train them at least somewhat where they know what the heck they're doing. Compliance to system, a dealership should not depend on money, luck, or verbal promises. So this is like, this thing right here that's how a deal jacket will look like. Like it will have like vehicle year, make, model, VIN, stock number, customer ID. So you could change these things the way you want, but this is like just a folder, and these are the things you're gonna have on there. So you're gonna put every car you have, you're gonna put the year, you're gonna put the VIN number, customer name. You could if you did the tax, sales tax have been done, paid. All these things, buyer's guide, everything. We have our own. On our buyer's guide, we have our own things we like to check. So it helps the auditor, the person who audit for us, like our own internal auditor. Compliance framework and homework. So confirm customer vehicle, title, price. So before you make them sign the paper, just make them show them on your Zeus or software, or if show them what everything is, because you don't want them to call them. They call you later and say, you charge me this thing, you charge me so much tax. You explain them that you live in Cook County or you live in Chicago. Chicago is the highest sales tax. You live in Chicago, that's why you have the highest sales tax. So you got to tell them what you're charging them, because they don't want to, they don't want to go home and then start going, upset about how this was done. I told you guys about the payment problems we had, so be alert. If you swipe the card, did not go through, don't do anything else. Can I call my bank? Yes, you can call your bank, but I'm not going to talk to them. It's not my thing to talk to them. I just want to swipe the card and it has to go through. If it says for approval code, we're not doing that shit. We don't do that. We already got messed up for $15,000 in one time in life, and I'm not doing that again.
Who do you get service from to be able to use a credit card? Which company are you using?
There's a company I can refer you guys. There's a friend of mine. No, it's a small company, and they use Clover. They use Clover, but the people who own the company is friends of mine. But they use Clover as a other company. So customer copies, give them a copy. Make sure you have a complete file with all the stuff, because all this will help you. And then what does Deal Jacket do? The one I showed you before was basically it's checklist. You check. Make sure you have all the stuff you need for the documents. So basically, I'm open for the questions. Okay, stop. We can stop.